Have you ever woken up with the disorienting thought, whose life am I living? It's a terrifying feeling, like the script was written by a stranger, and you're just the unwilling actor. This isn't just a bad day, it's a seismic shift. In this video, we're going to decode that chaos. We'll explore the 9 most powerful signs that you're not breaking down, but that your soul is finally waking up and taking the driver's seat. By the end, you won't just understand these confusing feelings. You'll see them as proof that you are courageously breaking through to a more authentic life. Here's the plot twist no one warns you about. The soul doesn't send a polite email. It kicks the door off its hinges. One day you're fine with your routines, the next, the fluorescent lights in the cereal aisle feel like a profound betrayal of the sun. Or you're at a party with people you genuinely like, and you're hit with an overwhelming urge to leave, not from anxiety, but because the cheerful chatter feels deafeningly false. That's not a malfunction, it's a jailbreak. Carl Jung gave this beautiful, chaotic process a name: individuation, the journey of shedding who you're supposed to be to become who you actually are. It's a revolution from the inside out. As we go through these 9 signs, if any of this is hitting home for you, do me a favor and tap the like button. And if this is the kind of conversation you've been looking for, hitting subscribe means you and I can continue this journey together. Now let's look at the signs. Sign 1 is a deep, persistent ache that no doctor, diagnosis, or wellness trend can seem to touch. It might be a chronic knot in your shoulder that no massage can release, or a recurring headache that mysteriously appears only when you're avoiding a difficult conversation. It could even be that vague, heavy fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to cure. Jung proposed that the psyche is a self-regulating system. When an essential part of you is ignored, your psyche doesn't stay silent. It creates symptoms to get your attention. That phantom pain is often the voice of your shadow, the vast, unlived parts of yourself you've disowned. And here's the twist. The shadow isn't just your so-called flaws. It's your hidden strengths, your repressed creativity, your untamed instincts. It's every wild, inconvenient, or brilliant part of you that your ego decided wasn't safe to show. Instead of chasing another quick cure, pause. Sit with the sensation. Ask it, if you had a voice, what message have I been refusing to hear? Don't try to fix it. Don't numb it. Just listen. That pain isn't random. It is raw data from your soul. It's brutal, it's unfiltered, and it's the only key that fits the lock of your own healing. And maybe that knot in your back isn't there because of bad posture. Maybe it's there because you've been carrying everyone else's expectations. Maybe that migraine doesn't mean you need more water. Maybe it's your unconscious pounding on the door, demanding to be let in. The next time your body hurts in a way that feels strangely personal, place your hand on it. Breathe into it. And instead of asking, "How do I get rid of this?" ask, "What are you trying to teach me?" The answer might not come in words. It might come as an image, a memory, or just a deep exhale you didn't know you were holding. This is the beginning of dialogue with your soul, and dialogue always starts with listening. Sign 2 is when the activities, people, and ambitions that once defined you suddenly feel hollow. Your favorite bar feels like a set piece. Your go-to playlist sounds like static. Even the career goal you worked years to achieve feels like a hollow victory once you get there. This is more than boredom. It is the dissolution of the persona, the carefully crafted social mask you've been wearing to survive. The energy required to maintain that mask is now being recalled for a much bigger internal project. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The mask isn't just fake. It was a necessary vehicle for navigating the world. It protected you. It helped you find belonging. But now, it has become too small for the person you are becoming. Inside, this feels like a strange, spiritual anorexia. The old meals don't nourish you anymore. The old distractions taste like cardboard. You sit at dinner with friends you once adored, and all you can think is this it? You press play on your favorite song and it's just noise. You arrive at the finish line of your long-awaited achievement, and instead of joy, there's a void. Externally, this looks like self-sabotage. You walk away from a relationship that everyone else swears is perfect. You decline a promotion that other people would kill for. To the outside world, you look ungrateful, reckless, even broken. But inside, something older and wiser is whispering, "Stop pretending to be full." Here's the paradox. The emptiness isn't a failure, it's an upgrade. Your soul is changing your appetite. It no longer wants the fast food version of life. It wants something real, raw, and deeply nourishing. For one day, eliminate all your habitual comforts. No reflexive scrolling, no background TV, no just because activities. In the silence, notice what you genuinely miss. Notice what you genuinely crave. That isn't boredom speaking, it's a clue. It's the compass pointing toward where your authentic energy wants to go. So the next time your favorite ritual suddenly tastes like cardboard, don't panic. It's not the end of joy. It's the beginning of a new appetite. Sign 3 is a radical upgrade to your intuition. Suddenly you just know things without knowing how you know. You walk into a room and instantly feel the unspoken tension before anyone says a word. You sense that an argument just happened even if everyone is smiling. You anticipate a friend's text seconds before it arrives. You get a powerful gut feeling that a business deal that looks perfect on paper is absolutely wrong for you. Carl Jung considered intuition one of the 4 primary psychic functions, equal to thinking, feeling, and sensing. But here's the cultural trap. In a world that worships logic and treats intuition like a party trick, this function is often left underdeveloped. So when the individuation process kicks in, intuition doesn't just return quietly, it comes roaring back like a tidal wave. And at first, it can feel overwhelming. You might feel like an emotional sponge, soaking up every mood, every hidden thought, every unsaid feeling. You laugh with a friend, but your body senses the sadness behind their eyes. You shake someone's hand at work and immediately know they're lying. This sensitivity is both a superpower and a burden. The danger is psychic enmeshment, confusing what belongs to you with what belongs to everyone else. That's why building an inner shield is essential. Visualize a permeable golden light surrounding your body. It allows genuine connection in, but keeps the energetic debris out. It's like updating your spiritual firewall. This is you learning the crucial difference between compassionate empathy and unhealthy fusion. Empathy says, I feel with you. Enmeshment says, I feel as you. And that second one will drain you dry. Here's the deeper truth. Intuition is not just a weird trick of the brain. It is the language of the unconscious, the quiet voice of yourself trying to guide you toward integration. When you stop dismissing it as coincidence and start treating it as data, your entire relationship with reality changes. So if your senses suddenly feel sharper, if you're catching whispers behind the noise, don't panic. You're not broken. You're just tuning into a new frequency, one you've been carrying inside all along. Sign 4 is when your dream life becomes cinematic. You don't just dream random nonsense anymore. You wake up with a full-feature film still playing in your mind. The images are vivid, symbolic, and heavy with emotion. They cling to you all day, like perfume you can't wash off. You dream you're losing your teeth and wake up with a terrifying sense of vulnerability. You dream of a hidden room in your childhood home and feel a strange pull to explore what's been locked away inside you. Or you find yourself underwater, breathing perfectly, and realize you're calmer in that dream than you are in waking life. Carl Jung saw dreams as the unvarnished truth-teller of the unconscious. They are not random brain static. They are a language of symbols and archetypes, a nightly telegram from the deepest parts of your psyche. Forget the cheap dream dictionaries that tell you teeth mean money or water means sadness. The only real question is this: what in my waking life feels like this? Because the dream isn't predicting the future. It's compensating for your conscious blind spots. It's showing you the other half of the story you've been ignoring. Think of it this way. Your conscious mind is like a politician giving a polished speech. Your dreams are the protesters outside with handwritten signs, yelling the truth you don't want to hear. Annoying? Yes. Essential? Absolutely. Here's the kicker. The more you pay attention, the louder and clearer the dreams become. Neglect them, and they'll keep repeating until you finally stop scrolling and listen. Keep a notebook by your bed. The moment you wake, write down not just the plot, but the feeling tone and the strongest image. Then ask one simple question. What does this remind me of in my real life? Dream of losing teeth? Maybe it's not about dentists at all. Maybe it's about the fear of losing control, or the terror of saying something raw and not being able to take it back. Dream of a hidden room? That could be your unexplored potential, the talents you've walled off because they didn't fit your persona. Here's the beautiful twist. The moment you start honoring your dreams, your waking life shifts. You see the same symbols show up in conversations, in books, in art around you. Your unconscious stops being a stranger and becomes a co-writer of your story. So if your nights are turning into a private film festival, don't dismiss it. That's not random. That's your soul sending you the rough cuts of the movie it wants you to live. Sign 5 is the unbearable sense that your life has been hijacked by two opposing forces living under the same skin. It feels like you are a house with roommates who hate each other and both keep stealing the same coat. One part of you whispers, "Quit your job, move to a cabin, live free." The other screams, "Are you insane? You'll end up broke, forgotten, a failure." One part of you longs to be brutally honest in your relationship. The other part is terrified of conflict, bending over backwards to keep the peace. Carl Jung called this the tension of opposites. And here's the brutal truth. It's not a malfunction. It is the engine of your evolution. You cannot reach wholeness by choosing one side and killing the other. That's not integration, that's mutilation. The job of your psyche is not to silence one voice, but to hold both until a third way, a more integrated solution, emerges. Think of it like this. Your security-seeking self wants stability. Your freedom-seeking self wants wildness. Both are valid. Neither is wrong. The friction between them creates psychic energy, the heat needed to forge transformation. But here's where people get stuck. They treat the conflict as proof they are broken. I can't decide, therefore something is wrong with me. No. The very fact that you feel torn is proof that your psyche is alive and evolving. Jung called this process the transcendent function, when holding the tension creates a solution you couldn't have imagined by picking one side. It's like trying to tune a guitar string. Too loose and it flops, too tight and it snaps. But in the sweet spot of tension, it produces music. Take a journal. On the left page, let your security self speak. I need safety. I need predictability. On the right page, let your freedom self answer. I need risk. I need expansion. Don't let either side win. Force them to negotiate. Often the compromise is stunningly practical. Maybe it's not quitting your job tomorrow, but carving out 3 hours a week to work on the side project that lights you up. Once you see both sides not as enemies but as partners in a creative argument, you stop hating yourself for being conflicted. You realize your civil war is not a flaw, it's a forge. It's how the raw ore of your divided desires is smelted into something stronger and truer. So if you feel like you're being ripped in two, congratulations. That's the pressure cooker of individuation. It's not comfortable, but it's how your soul cooks up the recipe of your real life. Sign 6 is the hollow silence that creeps in right after you've achieved something you thought would finally complete you. You land the job, you buy the house, you post the smiling picture, and then, like clockwork, the question lands in your chest like a stone. Is this it? You look around at your perfectly curated life, the good partner, the decent salary, the stable routine, and instead of joy, you feel a strange emptiness. Not depression, not sadness, just a kind of spiritual hunger that nothing on the outside seems able to feed. Jung described this moment as the ego crisis. The ego, that fragile but determined little manager, has been running the show for years. It loves status, titles, achievements, but the self, the deeper, wiser organizing principle of the psyche, doesn't care about your LinkedIn profile. It cares about wholeness. And when the ego realizes it is not the star of the show, it panics. That panic feels like meaninglessness, like you're standing on a stage after the play is over. The lights are still on, but the audience has gone home. This is why people who have it all so often collapse into midlife crises. It's not failure, it's a summons. The summons to shift from a life organized around what looks good to a life organized around what feels true. You may notice it in tiny ways. That TV series you used to binge feels unbearably shallow. The drinks with coworkers feel like chewing cardboard. Even your favorite music sounds like static. And yet, in the silence, your heart aches for something it cannot name. That ache is the self calling you back to your real life. Ask yourself, what did I do as a child that made me forget time? Was it drawing, climbing trees, inventing stories with toys? The feeling tone of those memories is not childish. It's the original language of your soul. Follow that tone like a compass. Here's the paradox. The emptiness you feel is not a void to be feared. It is an open space. It's the soil being cleared for a new crop. But first, the old harvest has to be burned away. So if you're walking around with that hollow ache, stop labeling it as a failure. Call it by its true name, the existential itch. It's your psyche scratching at the walls of the life that has become too small, and the scratching won't stop until you break through. Sign 7 is when the world suddenly turns into a mirror house and you can't escape your own reflection. You notice yourself getting irrationally angry at your partner's procrastination, or rolling your eyes at your friend's constant need for validation, or feeling like your boss's arrogance is somehow a personal attack on your nervous system. Here's the Jungian plot twist. 9 times out of 10, what you hate in them is something you're refusing to see in yourself. This is projection, the psyche's sneaky trick to keep you from facing your own shadows. The ego says, "I'm the good guy," and then quietly exports all the mess, your repressed anger, laziness, fear of failure, onto the people around you. Jung put it bluntly, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Annoyed by your friend's flakiness? Maybe you've been bailing on your own commitments. Triggered by someone's arrogance? Maybe you've buried your own healthy confidence. Enraged by someone's constant drama? Maybe you've disowned your own need to be seen. It feels like you're surrounded by toxic people, when in fact, you're surrounded by your own unfinished business. That's why this stage is so painful. It removes the last hiding place. Think of it like having an unwanted roommate. They slam cupboards, leave dirty dishes, and play loud music at night. You want to kick them out. But the truth is, they live there because they are you. The shift inside is brutal honesty. One moment you're self-righteous, convinced that your coworker is the problem. The next, you see yourself in their eyes and whisper, "Oh, damn, that's me." Externally, it can wreak havoc in relationships. Suddenly, every argument feels loaded, every flaw feels magnified. But if you can pause and ask, what if this irritation is pointing me inward? The irritation becomes a teacher. Next time someone drives you crazy, write a 1-paragraph rant about them. Don't hold back. Be brutally honest. Then, cross out their name and replace it with me. Read it back. Painful? Yes. Liberating? Absolutely. That's the shadow knocking, and the only way to make peace with it is to let it move back into the house. The shadow isn't here to punish you. It's here to make you whole. Because the moment you reclaim the parts you've projected, the world softens. Your boss stops looking like a monster. Your friend stops feeling like a burden. You stop being at war with reality. You realize the truth Jung never stopped preaching. The world outside is a map of the world inside. And the day you stop blaming the mirror, you finally start cleaning the face it reflects. Sign 8 is when reality starts acting like it has a sense of humor. You think about an old friend, and your phone lights up with their name. You wrestle with a decision, and a line in a random song feels like it was written just for you. You keep seeing the same number, 1111-444 everywhere, until it feels less like coincidence and more like a wink from the cosmos. Your rational brain calls it confirmation bias. And sure, psychology has its labels. But when it's happening to you, it doesn't feel like a math error. It feels personal. Like life itself is texting you back. Carl Jung coined the word synchronicity for this, meaningful coincidences with no logical connection. He described it as the bridge between the inner world and the outer world. The more your unconscious rises to the surface, the more you notice these subtle alignments. It's as if you've been tuned into a new frequency, and suddenly you can hear a conversation that has been happening all along. Internally, this sign feels like curiosity replacing skepticism. Instead of brushing it off, you start to wonder, what if this is guidance? Your dreams feel like encrypted letters. The universe feels less like a machine and more like a dialogue partner. Externally, it changes how you act. You start trusting your gut more than the spreadsheet. You follow the hunch to take a different road home and stumble upon exactly what you needed. You text someone randomly, only to find out they were desperate for a call. Your life starts to feel less planned and more choreographed, like a secret dance between you and reality itself. Example? A man stuck in a soul-crushing accounting job daydreams of working with animals. One morning, while lost in thought at the park, a stray dog barrels into his lap. He returns it to its owner, who happens to run a rescue center and needs a part-time bookkeeper. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe the universe just slid him a business card. Here's the kicker. Synchronicity isn't about fortune-telling. It's not the cosmos sending you a spoiler alert. It's about alignment, your inner state and outer world starting to echo each other. When you're out of sync, life feels like static. When you're aligned, it feels like music. For 1 week, keep a small notebook or a note on your phone. Every time something odd lines up, numbers, phrases, unexpected encounters, write it down. Don't force it. Don't explain it. Just track it. At the end of the week, look back. Patterns will emerge, and you'll realize the universe has been whispering all along. You just finally tuned in. Sign 9 is the quiet arrival of emotional sovereignty. It's not fireworks. It's not a TED Talk moment. It's the day you say no without breaking into a sweat. The day you set a boundary and don't draft a 5-paragraph essay to justify it. The day you realize that your needs don't require a permission slip, not from your parents, not from your partner, not even from your own anxious mind. Carl Jung would say this is what happens when the ego finally finds its rightful place, not as the tyrant, not as the victim, but as a conscious, capable executive serving something greater, the self. Internally, this feels like a shift in gravity. Fear, guilt, and people-pleasing don't vanish. They're still in the car, backseat drivers yelling directions. But they no longer have the keys. They're passengers now. You're finally at the wheel. Externally, the signs are subtle but seismic. You start declining invitations simply because you don't want to go. You stop padding your sentences with apologies. At work, you state your idea without secretly scanning the room for approval first. Your no becomes clean, calm, and final. No excuses, no guilt tax. Example? A freelance designer used to say yes to every ridiculous client demand, terrified of losing work. One Friday at 5 p.m., a client asks for a massive revision by Monday morning. The old version of him would have pulled an all-nighter. The new version? He types, "I'll be happy to look at this Monday at 10 a.m. Rush jobs are billed at weekend rates of X." The client replies, "Monday is fine," and he sits back, stunned. The world didn't collapse. The sky didn't fall. It was that simple all along. Here's the truth. Every time you enforce a boundary, you are not pushing people away. You are calling yourself back home. Those who loved the mask might call you selfish. Those who benefited from your lack of boundaries will call you changed. And they're right. You have changed, from a bendy straw into a spine. This week, practice one tiny no. No, I don't want seconds. No, I can't talk right now. Can I call you later? No, that doesn't work for me. Notice how your body reacts. Notice how the world keeps spinning. And notice how your soul exhales, quietly saying, "Finally." 9 signs. They don't arrive like a polite checklist. They collide. They repeat. They show up at the worst possible time. And yet, this is how the soul rises. Messy, inconvenient, utterly unplanned. Carl Jung reminded us again and again, individuation is not about building a shinier, more polished version of yourself. It's not self-improvement. It's self-remembering. It's the excavation of the real you, the one buried under other people's expectations, family scripts, and the endless pressure to perform. You are not becoming someone new. You are finally, courageously, becoming who you always were. Beneath the masks, beneath the noise, beneath the roles you never chose. So if your life feels like it's falling apart right now, I invite you to flip the script. What if it's not falling apart at all? What if it's falling together for the very first time? Keep listening to the whispers. Keep paying attention to the chaos. Keep writing down the dreams, the aches, the synchronicities. They are not random. They are your map home. And please, stop apologizing for the wholly messy business of your own becoming. If this resonated with you, smash that like button. It tells the algorithm, and maybe even the universe, that this work matters. Share this with a friend who might be secretly fighting the same battle. And subscribe, so you and I can keep walking this road together. Because this is not the end. This is the beginning. And the ache you feel, that's not weakness. That's the sound of wings growing where your shoulder blades used to be. Your soul is not just rising, it's coming home.